Okay guys, this is a quick tutorial on everything that you need to know for the server. First of all, to buy almost everything you need cash. Cash is stored separately from all other assets and you can view it by typing /cash. When you buy an asset like items, stocks, bonds, options, they're stored in your portfolio, which you can view by typing /portfolio. I have a script that I'm reading. If you have more than 10 assets, you can view the next page by typing /portfolio 2 and so forth. It goes through 10. The best way to make money on the server is by selling items. If you want to sell an item, you hold it in your main hand and you just type /s and it exchanges that item for money. You also pay taxes. If you'd like to check the price of an item, you can do /price check stock and then the name of that item. So let's do andesite. Boom, $4.58. There's two ways to buy stocks and items in the game. The first is /b, which physically spawns an item at your feet. So /b andesite 100. Boom. The second is through /buy, which buys both in-game items and real-life stocks such as Apple and Microsoft and places them all in your portfolio. This is useful if you'd like to invest in a large sum of items and you don't want to have to keep track of placing them everywhere. When buying an item, you type /buy, the item name, and then the amount. Boom. Make sure to use its display ID. There's some items, such as lapis lazuli, that have a space in the middle. Most of the time, you just have to put an underscore in between it, and that'll take care of that. Item prices change all the time based on how much of the stock is being bought or sold. They're also tied to the S&P 500, and for some of them, they're tied to their market equivalents. Like, for example, gold is tied to the price of gold. Oh, when buying a real-life stock, you have to make sure that you use its publicly traded symbol. For example, /buy AAPL for Apple, MSFT for Microsoft. There's over 3,000 stocks in the database and they update about every 15 minutes. If you want to sell an item from your inventory, type /sell item and then amount. Royalties now. Royalties are similar to properties in Monopoly. When you land on someone's property, you pay a fee. Well, here we have royalties on a lot of different things. We call them royalties here. And we have royalties on several crucial parts of the game, such as breaking blocks, opening up inventories, and eating. When you do these things, a certain amount of money is subtracted from your cash and put into a payout to the owners of the royalty. Be careful because some of these things like death or portals are very expensive. To view all available royalties, type /royalty list. To buy royalties, type royalty buy, name, amount. There we go. If you want to sell it, you just do /royalty sell. Royalties are paid out based on the total percentage of the royalty that you own. If you own 25% of the shares, you receive 25% of the payout. These pay out every day. Right now, I don't have a place for you to see it, but in the future, I'll probably put a little leaderboard in the little building right above my head, and that's where you can see how much of the royalty that you own and how much that you get paid out. Okay, options. If you want to buy an option, you type /option buy, either a put or a call. I'm not really going to explain to you how options work here, but let's say call, iron, you know what? First, let's do /price check stock iron ingot. Trading at $32.05. So let's do /option buy, call, iron ingot. Our strike price, we'll say 30 for this, and then the days remaining until the options expire. So 15, let's just say that. And then the amount of the options that you'd like. Let's say 20. Boom. So now we have an order of 20 iron ingot call options that's been filled at $55.49, average cost of $2.77. The options ID is I821. This is really important. So if you'd like to execute or sell the option, you have to remember what the ID is. If you'd like to see it, it's always going to be stored with the option in your portfolio. So portfolio, let's see if we can find it here. Okay, here we go. Iron ingot call option I821. So if we want to sell, we do option sell. Remember, there's a big difference between selling an option and executing an option. I'm not really going to go into detail about that right now, but just know that selling an option sells the contract. Executing an option executes, well, the option. You can go Google what that means. Option sell I821. And then we put in the, I821, and then the amount that we'd like to sell. How many do we have? We had 20. So boom, there we go. Your order to sell I821 has been filled at a price of $55. You now own 0 I821. Okay, that's how you sell an option. Then if you'd like to execute it, let's do / actually, let's buy an option on a real life stock, because you can buy those too. They're usually a bit cheap. They're not representative of what a real life option would be because they're calculated by the server, and they use the Black-Scholes equation, which is a bit antiquated, but it works. So option, actually, let's see what the price of okay, Apple stock is 159.54. So let's do /option buy put AAPL, which is our symbol, 160, which will be our strike price, and then we'll do 30 days for expiration, and then we'll do 10 options, boom, which have been filled at $3.07, average cost of 31. That's really fucking cheap. That's not correct. Okay, fuck it, we ball, and then let's do option execute A1963, which is our ID, and then let's sell 10. Boom, and now it's been executed for a profit of $3.20. Okay, when you execute a put option, it puts the money directly into your cash. When you execute a call option, you get the stock that's placed into your portfolio. So just remember that. All right, next up, let's talk about ranks. There's 9 ranks that correspond with your net worth: broke, poor, thousandaire, 10,000aire, 100,000aire, millionaire, multimillionaire, 8-digit club, and billionaire. Whenever you rank up into another digit, you have to remember to type /rank because it doesn't do it automatically. Okay, let's talk about in-game companies. If you want to start an in-game company, they let you make more money and take advantage of tax breaks. There's 6 different industries: farming, real estate, finance, livestock, materials, and mining. Just a bit of a heads up, I haven't really added a ton here. In the future, my plan is to make this really cool, but for right now, there's not a ton that you can do. You can start a company doing company start, name of the company, Enron. There's already an Enron company. And then you would do farming, and then the item that you wish to specialize in. So we can say wheat here. I'm not going to press enter because there's already an Enron, so it would just give me an error. But this is what you would type. The biggest advantage that you get from this is you get something called company powers, which you can access by typing /company power and then the name of your company. It resets every 30 minutes, and it gives you, if you're a mining company, for example, you get 8 minutes of haste 2 and speed 2. Those are kind of OP. I haven't really expanded a lot on the other companies yet. It'll be cool in the future, I promise. For right now, it's not that cool. But you can right now take companies public, though. It allows for a company to be publicly traded on the stock exchange. It gives you an instant injection of cash based on the amount of shares auctioned, and allows the owners to sell their shares in the company on the open markets. Actually, I included a little bit more about taking a company public at the end of the video. So if you're interested in that, go to there. Yeah, okay, let's talk about loans now. So you can take out a loan from the bank using the /loan buy command. It's the amount of money that you can borrow is your credit score. It's going to be just 3 times the amount of cash that you have. Maybe in the future I make it something cooler because maybe that's something that you guys can break. I don't know. The bank that you wish to borrow from, right now there's no bank set up, but you can borrow from the government. The amount that you like to borrow, let's say 50,000, and then the amount of time until your loan is repaid. So let's say 30 days, which is a good amount. I press enter, and I've successfully been granted a loan from the government for $50,000. I owe $1,666 per day for the next 30 days. So that money will be automatically taken out of my cash every day. If you don't have enough cash, well, that's not good. If you have like a negative amount for 3 days in a row, the government is allowed to liquidate your assets to reclaim its money. You can go bankrupt that way pretty easy. So make sure that you have cash if you have a loan. If you'd like to view your loan, you can see it in your portfolio. Yes, I do have a lot of loans. All right, so this is all basically fucked up. In the future, it'll look normal. Okay, next. Leaderboards. There's a couple leaderboards that spawn, the ones right behind me, but you can view leaderboards anywhere by typing /leaderboard. Let's see what you actually have to do. Leaderboard, net worth, for example. This one shows you the top 22, so it's kind of OP. Taxes. You pay a 1% tax on all items sold through /s and a 1% tax on profits, not total sale, only profits from things that you sell with the /sell command. There's also real estate here. There's 3 main types of real estate. There's office buildings, maybe something like that. There's franchise restaurants, and then there's apartments and hotels, which would be like this one right here. They all pay out different amounts, but it's usually between 7 to 10% of your total investment. And I think they pay that out every week. In the future, maybe I'll make that a little bit sooner so you can make a little bit more money, but right now that's what it's set to. There's a few commands that you got to know here. You can do /real estate list to see what you can see all the buildings through here. You can do real estate list for sale, which just lists the ones that are on the market. You can do real estate. Then you do the ID of the real estate. So let's go over here. So if I wanted to buy the Rainforest Cafe, I would do /real estate buy RC1. I'm not going to press enter, but that would be what you would type. And then obviously there's the sale price right there. And if you've already bought a property and you'd like to put it back onto the market, you can do /real estate sell, and then property ID, and then amount that you'd like to sell it for. Oh, there's also the government. The government's kind of complex. There's two main parts to it. There's Congress and there's the Federal Reserve. Congress is made up of 3 elected officials. Maybe I'll change it in the future. I don't know. I haven't thought about this yet. But I do know what they're going to do. It's going to be 3 elected officials and 1 president. They vote on issues that have to do with kind of the overarching things on the server. Vote on what gets to get added to the game. They set the rules. They decide what should get nerfed. They decide the general policy of the server. The Federal Reserve and its divisions handles kind of the smooth operations of the server. I run the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve so far oversees 2 nationalized companies, the MOCC, which handles the backside of all options trades, and the FNMA, which backs all government loans. These institutions often they'll probably go bankrupt quite a few times, and I will oversee them. Additionally, I'll put something over on this board so you can see how the MOCC and FNMA are doing. The MOCC is just a market maker for bonds. You can Google what a market maker is. That's what that is. It's also an options clearing corporation type entity. So you can Google options clearing corporation too. This is our stock tax revenue. This is our bond revenue. This is our next interest payment. And this is the total government cash on hand. Let's talk about bonds a little bit. There's no bonds offered right now, but in the future, the government might sell bonds in case we really need the cash if we have no money. Yeah, I think that's everything. There's probably a lot that I'm missing, but fuck it. Okay, bye. Okay, but first here's a little bit more on taking a company public. The valuation a company goes public is determined based on the 3 previous days' earnings and the multiple of their specific industry. This is a bit complicated, so if you don't know what I'm saying, I don't fucking care. Google it. I'm just gangster like that. The multiples are farming 3, livestock 3.5, mining 4, materials 4.5, finance 5. Public companies automatically give earnings reports every week, starting 1 week after going public. These earnings reports show weekly revenue, expenses, profit, earnings per share, and they also show the specialized revenue that your company makes. For example, if you're a mining company, it will show how much company you made from mining. That's just to make sure that a company can't go public and just, be given money from someone else. It has to be through its specific industry. Revenue is defined as all incoming money from sales to the company. Expenses are defined as all the money that flows out of the company's cash fund. Profit is simply revenue minus expenses. Earnings per share is defined as profit divided by total shares. The criteria for going public are as follows. Farming is for anything grown. To go public, you must make at least $500 per day for the past 3 days and have a cash reserve of $50,000. Livestock for companies that deal with the selling of animals requires $800 per day in revenue from the past 3 days and $50,000 in cash to go public. Mining for companies that want to mine blocks such as ores, sand, gravel, stone, etc. must have $1,500 per day in revenue from the past 3 days and cash reserves of $100,000 to go public. Materials for companies that want to sell items or blocks that are not naturally generated. This is also like for everything that's not mining or farming or livestock. Requires $2,000 per day in revenue from the past 3 days to go public and $100,000 in cash. That also can deal with rare items too. Just like rare stuff. Like if you want to sell something and it doesn't fit into the other categories, it's probably this one. Finance for companies that are hedge funds, stock exchanges, ratings agencies, or brokerages. I haven't added any of those things yet, but I plan to do that in the future. It requires $3,000 per day in revenue and $100,000 cash to go public. Real estate for companies that buy real estate requires $3,000 per day, $150,000 in cash reserves to go public. Yada, 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 yada. That'll be pinned somewhere in Discord.